Hello, hello, hello. My name is Sam, otherwise known as Function. Welcome back to Supreme Commander Forge Lance Forever on this nice sunny Saturday. Before we meet the players, let me just mention I have hopefully fixed the video quality that I'm working with. A couple of people on Discord were helping me out, tweaking the OBS settings and some other gubbins that I don't fully understand. So hopefully looking a little bit crisper on the viewer's end now. Now let's have a look at the players. In the blue corner, weighing in at 100 metric tons, we've got ZXCCURSED, who I will continue to refer to as Cursed, playing blue Seraphim. And over in the red corner, weighing in at 100 Imperial tons, Swkoll, playing red Aeon. Swkoll typically plays UEF. I think currently he's selecting the random option, so he gets a random faction each time he plays. But playing Aeon in this particular game. Aeon currently the least popular faction as far as I'm aware, in dire need of a few buffs I think, but we'll see how the players get on in this game. Let's take a quick look at the map. It's a randomly generated map, the Neuroxis map generator, a fantastic piece of kit. In the last year or so it's gotten really high quality. We're on a 20k map, so on the larger side we've got a few ponds around the outside, but most of the battle will be fought on the ground. 13,000 mass to be reclaimed, decent number of mexes, a few medium expansions dotted around to make for some nice static objectives. Take a quick look at the build orders. Swkoll has gone first land, second air. He's queued up another land and air factory. And Cursed over on the blue side, similar sort of picture, first land, second air, but now bringing his commander into the middle. Not a huge amount of mass in the middle, but because of the way these hills are set up, the middle will be a significant strategic objective. A bomber out there for Cursed. See what it can get done. Those early T1 bombers can be either extremely useful or extremely useless. But on a 20k map, given the way the mass points are set up, an early bomber might be able to do work. Looks like this engineer is going to finish certainly 2 of those mass points before it gets bombed. We've got a dropship out for Cursed, dropping 3 engineers over onto this expansion, and then presumably the other 3 onto the further expansion. Got a couple of flares with a spirit mixed in for intel, moving across for Swkoll. That bomber not able to kill this engineer. A little bit of micro is saving it. That's another one. And the interceptor comes in to clean the skies out. A bunch of flares being produced there for Swkoll, trying to get some early aggression going. A bit of early harassment. Defending interceptor goes down to one of Cursed's, but more interceptors coming off the production line for Swkoll. Those flares have gotten into the back portion of Cursed's side of the map, taking out a few engineers. 3 or 4 engineers go down there. They have completed a factory. The farm's just about to roll off there, so it will make short work of those flares, but a little bit of progress denied there for Cursed. Cursed building up a little bit of a base around his commander on the front lines there. Swkoll, instead of going for this expansion, he's going directly for the center, looks like. Just a move command there nothing else queued up for now. Both players with these southern expansions empty for now. Swkoll moving some flares over to his opposing side to continue to deny that expansion. We've got no engineers even on the way to either of these expansions. Seems like a little bit of a leak to me. A couple of Auroras trying to move in. Get an engineer kill or two, but not much else. Those Auroras very low on hit points, just 155 versus the 280 that the Thams have. The advantage that the Auroras have is significantly longer range and higher maneuverability. More APM intensive, but if you use them effectively they can be very, very useful. But as you can see, as soon as the Thams get in range, they pretty much instantly pop that Aurora. Still, Swkoll producing that constant stream of flares. Because it is such a big map, the highest speed of those T1 light assault bots can be used quite effectively. Drop being prepared. 4 engineers, looks like they're going for this lower expansion, and Swkoll has identified that this southern expansion is empty on Cursed side, so he's queued up a secondary drop over here to these 3 mexes. I doubt he'll be able to hold on to it for especially long, given its location, but T1 mexes pay for themselves very quickly, so not a bad idea. Speed up the game just a touch. 20k map, primarily land units currently on the field. We've got a dropout for Cursed, just a move command currently, dropping an engineer, surely only going to drop 1 yet, and then going for this, in fact going for the nearer expansion. Those engineers, they are starting on a point defense. There's only 2 of them though. There is a lab to defend, but Thams in the area. Once those engineers get spotted, Thams come in. That PD, 85% complete on that PD. If it had gone up, that would have been a significant win there for Swkoll. Wouldn't have been able to get access to the mexes, but he would have denied the area to Cursed for quite some time. And a solid wall of Thams coming forwards now with a couple of Zooies mixed in just for good measure for Cursed. Going to face up against these light assault bots, pretty much instantly delete them. Very few tanks on the field for Swkoll. Tech 2 Air started for Cursed. Let's take a look. His power stalling a little bit, but power generators take a lot of power to produce, so that will soon be rectified, I imagine. Take a look at the economies overall. Cursed a little bit ahead in total mass, and generated mass, again, slightly in Cursed's favour. Cursed taking a lot of damage on his commander, who's down into the yellow. About 60% of his hit points left, but those Thams come in to protect. Swkoll needs to make sure he uses that increased range of the Auroras. The Aurora's range, I believe, is longer than their vision radius. So, hopefully Swkoll he does have a radar in the area. Here it is.
Commander under attack.
Cursed moving his commander back in. Definitely not what I would be doing. He's going to have to move those Thams back. Very strange looking overcharge. Gets a single Tham over on the right hand side there. Those Thams coming in now are in range of the Auroras. Swkoll going to have to retreat with his forces. Over on the top side, a few forces just trying to probe the enemy's defences, but not a whole lot going on otherwise. A little bit of a standoff here. Speed up again just a little bit. Swkoll moving forwards with his Auroras. We saw Tech 2 Air completed for Cursed. Have we seen any tech come out for Swkoll? I don't think so. Just assisting with engineers on those T1 air factories. As you can see, those Auroras able to take down the FAMs before the FAMs have anything to do about it. Gun upgrade started on Cursed. I expect he's going to have to cancel that actually. Swkoll's commander getting very close. Again, the maneuverability and range of those Aurora is extremely effective. He doesn't know that this upgrade is going on. He sees engineers in the area. He might know something's up. Sending the Auroras in to harass, but that gun upgrade almost completed now. No upgrades currently for Swkoll. With that commander disadvantage, I suspect that Swkoll will want to make an upgrade soon. We've got that T2 Air being used for Cursed. Volthu T2 Seraphim gunship. Very effective at harassing the enemy. The T1 mobile anti-air not able to do a whole lot, but interceptors come in and just disintegrate one of the Volthus. Significant air engagement now. Hard to tell who's coming out on top. Looks like Swkoll gonna win the day there. A couple of Volthus trying to take out this firebase, but a single T1 anti-air turret and a couple of mobile anti-air units. And then those interceptors come across to finish the job. Nice little raiding party started up here for Cursed. Trying to get it in behind Swkoll's defences. One more overhead. Spots and begins whittling away at this raiding party. I'm going to go for this forward expansion. PD is in place. There are some Zuis. Just to get those Thams out the way. Let the Zuis do their work. Is PD not really sure what it's doing? There is a Tham in range. If it's stunned or if that's just a bug or what, but slightly odd. Range upgrade on that gun has been completed now for Swkoll, and he's starting the speed upgrade. A couple of those mexes have been taken out and the PD has been taken out, so Tham's moving forward to try and finish the job. Aurora's surrounding them, so I doubt they'll get much more done than destroy these two structures, but certainly worth it, I would say. Another Volthu in the back being destroyed by interceptors. Looks like it's not going to get too much done. It got a couple of kills, possibly engineer kills, but nothing else. T1 bombers over here, helping destroy those invading FAM forces. No engineers queued up to retake these mexes as yet. Do we have any tech? We've got Swkoll possibly... No, he's not stalling. I'm not sure why these units are taking so long to build. That upgraded comm being used now for Swkoll. Being supported by T2 units, so we do have a T2 land factory somewhere. There it is, HQ right on the front lines. Not always the best idea, that HQ, one of the more valuable structures on the field. Engineers just repairing the commander. He takes a break. And an asylum T2 mobile shield generator produced there for Swkoll. 3,500 hit points on that unit. Meanwhile, Cursed trying to use his commander to maintain control of this southern expansion, but two of those mexes go down, and that Ilshiva actually goes down as well. Ilshiva's a really nice unit, but very expensive. Take over 300 mass to build. Decent number of air units here for Curse. There are a couple of mobile flak units there for Swkoll, so Curse wants to just be a little bit careful. Those T1 bombers not getting a whole lot done. Looks like Cursed does have control of the skies for now. He's got T2 air, currently just using it to produce bombers. A T2 dropship being produced there. See what he can get done with that. Seraphim players often like to drop in a whole bunch of Zuis with those T2 dropships, so it's one of my favourite tactics to watch, one of my least favourite tactics to play against. Those Auroras making good use of their extended range. Just taking out FAMs. FAMs have absolutely nothing to say about it, but again, although those paper-thin Auroras just get one shot by bombers. 9 kills on one bomber, 5 kills on the other one, the 6th kill picked up just there. A bit of a firebase being set up here for Curse. He's built TMD. Few T2 point defenses as well, and actually he's using that T2 dropship to drop the commander. The commander can be picked up, but you need a T2 or higher dropship to be able to transport him. So we're just getting an Aurora kill or two for free. Want to be really careful dropping the commander about like this. If the commander is in the air and the transport ship gets destroyed, the commander will immediately go pop. There is a little bit of leeway if the dropship is in the process of dropping him and he's near to the ground, he'll take a reduced amount of damage, but if he's anything like at full altitude, he will, doesn't matter how many hit points are left on that commander, he will immediately explode. That Curse just abusing his air control, and there we go, T2 dropship dropping in some Ilshivas. Over here we've got some anti-air defending, but it's not enough. Decent number of hit points on that T2 dropship, and 3 Ilshivas will get a lot of work done. There's a lot of T2 mexes down here. Represents a significant investment in mass. See the micro. Cursed actually one of those Ilshivas still in range of that T2 mix. And the Micro comes in, gets the rest of them in range, finishes off that structure. So that's 3 mexes, at least 2 of them were T2, I'm not sure if the third one was, but really nicely done. Swkoll rapidly trying to produce T1 point defense with those engineers. Cursed paying attention, kills the engineers first, and then starts work on the point defense. These Ilshivas are a fantastic unit. Ton of hit points on them. See that one, 3,000 hit points with 2 ranks of veterancy. We'll go down to this PD. One Ilshiva out of range of the point defense. Getting bombed, briefly stunned each time it does get bombed, but I expect it's going to destroy this factory, hopefully. Just 11 hit points left on that factory. Going after the anti-air turret instead. There we go, the factory finally goes down, so really nice work done by that Ilshiva drop. Absorbs a lot of Swkoll's APM, as well as destroying a lot of his mass. T2 artillery, the miasmas being produced now for Swkoll under the T2 shield generator. Nano repair has been started. 60% complete there for the Cursed. See if he fully upgrades that Seraphim commander. A fully upgraded attack commander from the Seraphim. Really, really exciting to watch. Those Auroras and Blazes, its supporting units getting just about in range of those T2 point defenses, so going to have to back off by the looks of it. I think that was an overcharge to take out one of the Ilshivas here. But commander taking T2 point defense fire. Once they get out of range, he's down to 6,000 hit points. He's just going to walk away. T2 bombers coming in overhead, takes out a radar. I think that was a T2 radar and the T2 artillery gun. Nice work there from Cursed. A lot of mass goes into those artillery pieces. Looks like Swkoll unable to keep that shield on. He's paused it for now.
Commander under attack.
That's why the artillery gun went down. A couple of those T2 point defenses have gone down. Decent amount of mobile missile fire coming out now for Swkoll. Just a single TMD still there for Cursed. Decent number of Ilshivas though. Take a look at those. 13 Ilshivas on the front line there for Cursed. Again, Ilshivas are a fantastic unit. More being produced up here. Do we have T2 air for Swkoll yet? No, still sticking with T1. Trying to produce some energy storage so he can make use of the overcharge ability on his commander. Now that he's facing up against decent numbers of Tech 2 units, that overcharge becomes very, very useful. Swkoll elected to hoover up the wreck of that T2 artillery gun instead of rebuilding it. I would have to agree with that decision. It's a lot of mass, not in an overly defensible position. T3 land started, so we're still on T1 air, sorry, but T3 land has been started. Factory was over here, wasn't it? There it is. Going to be producing some harbinger, potentially some sniper bots. Both players have access to the sniper bots. They are slightly different between the Seraphim and Aeon faction. I can't remember which way around it is, but one of them has slightly lower damage but longer range. A little bit of a standoff, both players producing defensive structures, neither player wanting to assault the other's base. If you try and assault a defensive position and fail, the enemy is very likely to roll over you. So both players just in a bit of a Mexican standoff at the minute. Still a lot of T1 bombers being produced. Not making heavy use of the T2 air, but we've got another Ilshiver drop. 5 Ilshivers now loaded up onto this T2 dropship. Let's see where they're going to go. Looks like they are just going to be used defensively. Not a bad idea. T3 land has been completed. That factory's currently idle. Let's see what he's going to build. I would expect to see Harbingers come out there for Swkoll. Take a look at the economies. Absolutely neck and neck there. Both on 99k total mass. Swkoll significantly ahead on generated eco. Similar reclaim values, so potentially over the next few minutes Swkoll going to pull ahead. Few T1 bombers just being taken out by Cursed superior air forces. Do we have? That is another T2 artillery gun being produced by Cursed now this time. And counter artillery being produced by Swkoll, so both players using turtle tactics. Not the most interesting to watch, but certainly one of the more popular tactics to use, especially at lower ratings. Don't often see it too much at these higher ratings, but this is one of the rare examples. Those mobile missile launchers doing their best, but not really able to do too much. Cursed mobile missile launchers actually kill a static unit there. Those MMLs can be really useful. They don't take much APM to use, but the opponent has to constantly shift their units around unless they want to take heavy losses. As you can see, one of Swkoll's T2 units going down there. Blaze about to go down, yeah. So those MMLs paying for themselves for Cursed. All the Ilshivers filling themselves up against some Auroras and Blazes. They are going to have to retreat, it looks like, but we've got some T3 units from both sides. Mobile T3 artillery, the Aeon T3 mobile arty are able to fire whilst moving, I believe. On the other side, Cursed sticking with more traditional warfare, producing those Othiums, the T3 siege tanks. And an Absolver. I don't think I've ever seen one of these actually being built in a real game. T3, excuse me, T3 shield disruptors. Not even sure how they work, to be honest. We'll have to keep an eye on that. But a whole chunk of units going pop there. I'm not sure if that must have been from an artillery shell. A lot of engineers in a very vulnerable looking position. T2 air finally completed now, and T3 immediately started for Swkoll, skipping the T2 phase entirely. Still not a ton of T2 units being produced by Cursed in terms of air units. Othams, Ilshivas and supporting units going off to the north there. Cursed has identified this expansion as one that he wants to attack. Two artillery pieces produced now, I think. Oh no, there's a Southernesses, Southerni, mobile artillery pieces for the Seraphim, and we do have a sniper bot. Just 700 hit points on those things, but they have very long range, very high alpha damage. And I believe they can shoot backwards and shoot while moving, so if they're microed properly, they can be extremely effective, especially against other T3 and T4 units. PD, looking like it's about to go down. Gets one kill on a Zooey. It's a little bit of damage down on the Ilshivas, but it does explode eventually. T1 Land Factory, a few T1 mexes in jeopardy there. Swkoll having to pull back a bunch of T2 units. There's a couple of Harbingers in there for good measure. Certainly going to need those because the Othams in the mix there for Cursed going to make a big difference. And I could hear something, I wasn't sure where it's coming from, but this Otham presumably being dropped in by a dropship. Here's the dropship. Dropped in, takes out 3 T2 mexes, so really, really valuable there. 15 kills on that Otham, 3 ranks of veterancy, a 4th one there now. Getting back 24 hit points a second, and this raiding party up here for Cursed has met the defending forces of Swkoll, trying to sneak past, getting a bit of damage down, as they do. A Spectre T2 gunship, a second one out for Swkoll, but there are T2 mobile anti-air units here, so Swkoll not going to get too much done with those air units. Three Harbingers now in the mix, and Cursed has decided he's going to try and cut his losses short. Shield Disruptor coming in. No shields in the mix here though. Not really sure what the utility of that Absolver is in this context, but it's being moved in anyway. Still got flak units, so another T2 gunship being destroyed there for Swkoll. Another mini raiding party, trying to meet up with the first one. Still got 2 Othams in the mix there, want to keep those alive. Now we've got sniper bots moving forward, 4 sniper bots, a couple of Othams, some MMLs and a couple of Southernesses. Gradually moving forward, trying to take on this defensive position where Swkoll has parked as commander. Just 12,000 hit points on that commander now. So if enough sniper bots get in range, they will it'll only take a few volleys to kill that commander. He is under the shield, of course. A little bit of a lull in the fighting here. Those sniper bots being brought up to the north. We'll try and deal with the Harbingers, presumably. Let's take a look at the economies. Swkoll pulling ahead in total mass produced. Still significantly ahead. 60 mass ahead in terms of generated eco. And now making better use of those T2 gunships. They trying to kill T1 Mexis, but they get produced almost immediately, get rebuilt almost immediately, I should say. And a T3 air unit out, a couple of ASFs there. ASFs versus interceptors. ASFs are extremely effective in the air. Another drop. A couple more Ophims in the mix there. Let's have a look. Long drop queue. Let's hope those Ophims are amphibious. Let's just check. They are amphibious, so they can go into the water nice and safely, but they will get into the base of Swkoll if those get dropped. ASF's not in the right place. See if Swkoll has noticed those. If he's paying attention, he will see what's going on. He can certainly... Oh, that radar goes down. But the ASF's being brought over now. He did spot them. One pass. If Cursed is paying attention, he'll need to drop them now. Second pass. As you can see, units that are in a dropship, when the dropship gets killed, the transported units immediately die, so that's a ton of mass there dropped. It's a nice idea, but unfortunately Swkoll has teched up his air game. He's produced a shocker now. He's taken out... Was that a T3 Mex? Cursed really cannot afford to take economy hits like that. A bunch of bombers making light work of the mexes over here. Not sure what tech they were. I would guess T1. Interceptors coming over. For Cursed, he's built a couple of ASFs of his own now, but one of them actually goes down to interceptors, so the micro not on point there for Cursed. T3 units creeping forwards. Serenities apparently not in range of anything. There we go. I'll watch one of them fire while moving. Very valuable asset to have. Back into a slight standoff. Cursed pulling his units down. Again on a 20k map, everything takes just a little bit longer. Swkoll has identified the threat, pulling those T3 units back. Cursed doing really well with reduced economy, keeping the pressure on. A T2 gunship gets in the back here, and no defences in the immediate vicinity. I think those were just power storages that go pop. Interceptors and ASFs come over to protect everything else. So the game down again. Cheeky T1 point defense was attempted to be built there. A bit of a mass stall for Cursed. He's trying to use that T2 artillery piece to fire on these T3 units over here as they retreat. Let's have a look at this bomber. Still only one kill. Maybe that was a different bomber. Not sure. It's going to take 2 more passes with that bomber to kill the T3 mechs. The ASFs come in. They are able to kill the bomber before they themselves die. So actually really nice work there from Cursed to prevent any damage, any further damage from coming out from that bomber. It must have been a different bomber to the one before, because the first bomber got 5 kills because it killed a mechs and the adjacent mass storages. T1 bomb is still being produced alongside ASFs. T3 forces facing off here, both players with sniper bots. Look at those things as they fire. Really weird looking things. Not sure why it took 3 shots to kill that engineer, but they hit the ground first. But I think I saw Lithoto has started. There it is. Experimental assault bot, aka a chicken or chicken bot. For Cursed, no T4 started. Oh, excuse me, a GC is almost complete there for Swkoll, so that's why we've seen a little bit of a drop in the rate of units being produced by both players. Certainly by Swkoll. See how well he's supporting that. He's not even mass stalling. GC does still take a while to build. 55k ahead in total mass there for Swkoll. He's making good use of it. Really nice generated map here. So we've got some nice little choke points that get produced. Cursed saying that he's confused about where Swkoll's taking all his mass income from. Let's take a look at the... Oh wow, as that GC gets finished. 9 T3 mexes for Swkoll versus 6 for Cursed, so that's where some of it's coming from, but Swkoll said he had a significant amount of mass in his storage. Takes about 25k mass, I think. Excuse me, 25k mass to produce a GC. Superior numbers of T3 units there for Swkoll, just gradually creeping ahead. I don't want to fully engage yet. Possibly waiting for the additional pressure produced by this GC as it faces off against the defensive position from Cursed. Let's take a look at that chicken bot. It's only half complete, and the GC is halfway there. Cursed complaining that Swkoll was behind and now apparently out of nowhere is ahead. I think Swkoll has been ahead for a while. Power of T3 mech, says Swkoll. Certainly the case. 27 mass produced per tick by each of those T3 mexes. Not convinced that this chicken bot's going to get complete. Lumbering Galactic Colossus. Menacingly bearing down on the enemy. Taking a cue from Robert Pattinson's Batman, apparently the slower you walk, the more menacing you look. I'm not sure if it's true, but... Finds the blueprint of the chicken. He's going to make light work of it. Destroying it before it can get built. T3 units on the southern side. Swkoll with higher numbers, but I think lower quality units overall. Chicken bot does actually get complete, but on basically 0 HP. GC finishes it off. Swkoll's trying to get his commander out of the way. GC facing backwards, not sure why, possibly just trying to keep out of range of the Ion Storm. T3 makes us go down, and I think it'll take a miracle here really for Curse to pull this game back. Excuse me. Hay fever season is starting here in the UK, and I'm really feeling the pain. My face is constantly on fire. I love it. ZXCCURSED was commenting earlier that he raided all of Swkoll's base, but Swkoll's still apparently able to pull ahead in mass. Laser beam from the GC's face. GC finds T3 units from ZXCCURSED, so that's a lot of fire. 22k mass in this unit if it does eventually go down. 25k hit points. Oh, we've got T3 units coming in for Swkoll from both sides now. I think even if this GC goes down, that will be all she wrote. Power generators going pop. T3 power explodes. Shockwave destroys those T2 point defenses, and the control K goes up. That is game. Nice game from both players. Thanks to both players for producing an interesting game. Thanks you guys for watching. Leave a comment, tell me what I should be doing better, tell me what you think of these videos, and subscribe to the channel if you like. Click the notification bell if you want to get notified when I produce another video. Yeah, I'll see you next time.